In this section, we will be looking at maintaining control during the change. As we have been talking about change in earlier discussions, you would agree that the process can be quite dynamic, and in that, if it is going to be very dynamic and up and down and kind of chaotic atmosphere, then it would be nice to think about control. So it would be nice to have some type of control, although you might want to think that when it is very dynamic and things are going to happen as we are going along the lines of change, and many new things would happen which we might not know. Yes, that is correct, but still, if one can have some type of control, it is always good. So this chapter would focus attention on the issues of control associated with implementation stage of change process, as you are going to implement various theories, various models, your framework. What are some of the things which you might can do to have some control, just to feel better? Although even with control, change is going to get out of control, but still, just to have a little, maybe peace of mind that yes, we can use these strategies. They mindset and so on. So this chapter highlights 7 steps that the change manager can take to help maintain control during the transition state, implementation state, as the change is taking place. So you would realize that all these 7 things we have spoken about in earlier discussion, but this chapter kind of gives you a nice step by step, or not step by step, but in one space you can find what are some of the different things which you can maybe do to control. So let's look at them quickly. Like, for example, one is develop and communicate a clear vision of future state. So if you can reflect on earlier discussions, you would agree that these things have been coming again and again. So communication, for example, you guys have mentioned multiple times the importance of communication, clear communication, communicating in the way that the other party understand, not communicating in the way you want to communicate. You want to understand how the other party would understand, how to use the right medium, and so on. And then the importance of clear vision. What do you want to achieve from change? What is the objective? What is the end state or future. Yes, sorry for that. Here they are talking about future state, but you can also say, the end state, or the objective. Anything you want to say. Words don't really maybe matter, at least the way I think. Uh, but whatever but your vision should be clear, what you want to achieve, and then your steps should be helping your communication, and the approaches you are taking, they should help you to reach your objective. So if for example the vision is not very clear, then of course the process is not going to flow. Another point they mention is appointing a transition manager. That again is very important. We use different terms in earlier sections. They are talking about transition manager. Don't really worry about it. Any person who is helping in the change of state of the affairs of any process, anything, whatever is your target, whatever you want to change, that target is going to go through different forms, different feelings, different type of feedbacks would be coming from that target. Why I am saying target is because it can be a human being also. They will who can help them manage that transition, if you can call it, because your this chapter is saying transition, so let's call it transition. So it would be nice. So now you can think, you can think what should be some of the qualities of the person which you're going to appoint as transition manager. They should maybe understand that the change they are asking, maybe it is very easy for them, but for the other person maybe it is not, whatever or whatever their. What else, if anyone can help? uh, okay, this is interesting pointer. Our friend is saying that there is something like change agent also. So it can be a very good pointer. It can be who is change agent. Change agent is anyone who is giving any type of agency, who is starting out any type of change. So that person would be change agent, and transition manager would be someone who would be helping in the transition of the change. As the person is going through various phases of the change, this transition manager would be helping them with the phases and the transition. So that maybe you can think. But what Tanisha is. Yes, sorry for that. I think something happened to internet. So let me go back. So I was saying that this is a very interesting thought to think about, what Tanisha is saying. Because in some situations you can think that okay, you have a change agent who is giving agency to the change, in simple words, giving support, giving your cheerleader in the group. Like, yes, we what the boss is saying is right, we should do it. Like, in every change situation there are people who will create obstacles, hindrances. So change agent is someone who is minimizing those obstacles, hindrances. So maybe once the process has taken off and the agency has taken off, then maybe you can there can be some situation in which one of your change agents can help in the transition also. Yes. So it can happen in some situation, but you might want to think about few things, because you might want to think that when you are too much dependent on one person in any situation in life, forget about change management, even in our personal life, if we are, let's say, you are too dependent on one person, and that person is your friend, and that person is your lover, and that person you want to spend your time with, and everything is on that person, and your life revolves around that person. Now what if that person is not available, then your schedule is kind of, it's kind of messed up. But if you have a group of people, like you have good connection with your parents, you have good connections with your brother, sister, you have good 3 4 good friends, you have other people in your life, you have friends at work, you have other occupations in your life. So now you are not really dependent on one situation. So your portfolio is kind of, interest portfolio is kind of diversified. So in that regard, you might want to think that okay, you have a change agent, and this is supporting your change in the organization. And if you have the same person who is helping in the transition, then are you depending too much on that person? I'm not saying that it can be the same person. It can be, but just you want to look into few things. Like too much depending on one person is like, this is uh, you must have taken a simple finance course, and in your finance course they talk about diversification of portfolio. That is very important concept to understand for anyone who is interested in change management. You want to diversify your portfolio. Other sayings are common sayings in the culture, like don't put all your eggs in one basket. Those type of mentality I am sharing with you. But yes, it can be a situation when also you want to think, for example, uh, also you want to think that are you putting too much load on one person, like this person is doing one thing and they are doing second thing and third thing. You want to think about those things. So from that angle, if you are thinking, then maybe you should have a group of people who are helping you in the change. So there will be various things. There will be how the when you are dealing with the people who are troublemakers in the change, who are saying no, 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 this cannot work, I don't like it, what is this? So you have a group of people who can help you in that, and then you have group of people who can help in the transition, because some people would be willing to accept the change, but they don't know how to go about it. They are maybe open to change, but they don't understand that change will be difficult, and they will be trying to form a new habit, and they will be going back to their old their old behaviors, and then they will have to come back. So the transition manager is kind of doing various things, also motivating them to keep on going, and those type of things, having conversations, and then change agent is doing other things. So in that scheme of things, in the ideal world, in the ideal world, it would be nice to have a group of people. But as you would know that in the real world, uh, just like you have many people who want you to succeed, unfortunately there are people who you might know, but they don't have your best interest in heart. I was listening to this interview of Usain Bolt last night, um, and I'm gonna share with you that through Orwelly. I would like everyone to watch it. A very interesting interview. One thing which is coming to my mind right now is that he was saying that you need to have people. This is what he was saying in the interview. um, he was saying that you have to have people around you who are going to support you in the success. Like for example, you want to go out and they want to go out, and they are telling you, oh, let's go out, let's have fun and this and that. But if they realize that you need to do training, and you have this thing coming up, and you have that thing coming up, and that is maybe more important, and these fun activities we maybe can do later on, it is nice to have those type of people around you. So who are those people? So, and then he was saying that there are some people who are maybe not very much in the not very much supporting you in the success, and so on. So I learned a lot of things from that interview. Very interesting interview, even in the context of change management. So I will share that with you and make a note, and make some note on that. So yes, think about these things. There is no hard and fast rule on that. You have to think, looking at the situation. And please look into this reading, the second part. It is very important. It helps you understand more about transition and so on. Yeah, we have a transition plan. Of course, we have spoken about it, how important it is. Purposefulness, yeah, task specific, integrated, adaptable. Agreed by top management. That is very important. If top management is not supporting, then maybe later on it can be uh, it can Sorry for that. And the last one here in the bullet points is cost effective. Yeah, it at the end of the day, you in the change management, in any of change transition, you have to think about cost also, the financial aspect, uh, because everything is going to take some type of finance, some type of money, be it training, be it motivating people, whatever it is, some type of finance would be linked there. So you want to ensure that whatever change you are trying to implement, and the cost it will come up with, it is worth it, the objective or the purpose or whatever you are trying to achieve. This one, for example, provide the resources for the transition. So these things you want to think before change, not once you are gone into the change process. You have to think that, do you have the resources? Not just resources is not just money. All different type of resources. Individually speaking, if you are leading the change, do you have that type of mindset? Do you have that type of energy in that point of time? Are you willing to take on that responsibility? Uh, all these things. That interview was really good because many pointers are coming in my head as I'm speaking with you, because uh, uh, Honorable Bolt was saying that um, he was asked what are the top three things you learned in life, or are going to give you success or whatever. And last number three was that knowing that it will be difficult, knowing that it will be difficult. Yes, whatever you are doing, knowing that it will be difficult. That really was very interesting point, and I would like to say the same for change management. Before you go into change management, knowing that it would be difficult, and I would encourage you that you listen to these type of people who have really done the transition in their life. Because you and me are maybe just speaking about it. Have we really like changed our class, like really changed our class? Like a person like Bolt, where he is coming from, he's coming from literally nowhere, and now you go anywhere in the world and people are literally speaking anywhere. People will know who the person is, what is his achievement. So he has really done the change himself and transition. So, understanding that person's mindset is something which will help all of us if we want to go into any type of change. It doesn't matter what type of change it is, because it is, as one friend mentioned, and I think that was very good point in the chat one time. One friend was mentioning the bright mindset. Yeah, so these people who go through these transition understand the dynamics of change and what it would take, and then change the, not just change their own personal life, but change the perception about their country in the world, and change the dynamics of track and field, and those what is his mindset, and what are the things he thinks are important if you want to bring some type of change into game, or in whatever you are doing. So I think we should look into conversations of these type of people who have not just read the book, and who have not just done some type of small personal changes in their life, but who have really gone out and made some big big print on the stage of the world. Okay. Reward transition behavior. Yeah, this is something which we know from experience also, that if you want someone to do something, um, when they do it what you want them to do, you reward them. Reward can be anything, like not just the salary or the money, or it can be like praise, it can be encouragement, it can be like some type of big up, or that type of thing. You can maybe think about rewarding transition behavior. But like personally speaking, I have my different thoughts on this. I think that if you are rewarding for every step on the way of change, then it might be too much. Then people are maybe just there with you for the reward, not just because they really want to be. So that is one thing which sometimes I think about. Um, like I think that yes, but the reward is also important. Uh, if you are working on something and you are not getting the reward, then there will be a time can come where you see that what am I getting from this? Because it's essentially speaking, human beings are selfish. We look for our self-interest, generally speaking. We don't let it be very obvious, but anything we are doing, if there is no self-interest in it, generally speaking, we don't do that. But that is, you can disagree with that, please, if your life experiences are different. Use multiple and consistent leverage points for change. And this is what I was saying, multiple diversification. Yeah, different type of yes, different type of people you can use, different type of strategies you can use. So if they are multiple and you are doing it consistently, you should get some type of success. Maybe not very early, but eventually, if you keep on doing something, eventually you see some result. And develop feedback mechanism. That is, I think, extremely important. Extremely important feedback. You should read on this. Please Google these things. For example, how to give feedback. If someone is asking for feedback from you, what are some of the best practices to give feedback? Yeah, because we forget about change management. We do this all the time. We are giving some type of feedback to others all the time, to our friends. Don't do this, do it like this. Why you did not do it like that? What is that? All of that is feedback. You're sharing your opinion. So read on this. Read from the experts what they have written, how to give feedback, and also read how to take feedback. When someone is giving you feedback, how to take it. What are the things you should be considering when someone is giving you feedback? Yes, you might think that you already know these things, and I'm not saying you don't know, but I'm just saying that read from the people who have done some research on feedback. Yeah, go on UV databases, find some articles, research articles on feedback, and just it will take like half an hour maybe. That's it won't take a lot. But this is feedback is something which is part of our life. uh, um, at work also it will help you, in school, in group projects it will help you, generally in your private personal life it is going to help you. How to give feedback that other people take it, they agree with it. That is, see, that is very important. If I am saying something to you, that is my feedback. How should I say it so you at least consider it? What are some of the things I should keep in mind? Yeah. So those things maybe you would want to think about. And then there is some exercise, just like all the exercises, you might want to do that. And then the summary section, they are essentially talking about these 7 points. There is nothing else in the chapter. So please be mindful of these 7 pointers. They might help you in controlling, or we can say managing. Maybe control is a bigger word. Maybe managing the transition. And what are those? Develop and communicate a clear vision of future state. That will help you manage transition. Appoint a transition manager. Develop a plan. Provide resources which will be needed within the transition, and reward transition behavior whenever someone is transitioning in the way which matches your vision, your goal. The person is being a good change agent, for example, in the process. So reward that, make friends along the process. And if someone is not being as helpful as they should have been, in your mind, don't get very angry, don't get very frustrated. Try to understand what is going on. There is no point of getting frustrated. If the person is not fit in your team, you can let the person go after understanding why they are not being helpful, what is the mindset, what is happening. If you can help them and bring them on your team, very good. If you cannot bring them, no need of arguments and those type of things. Because the reason I'm saying this, because you have to think about the culture of the which you are when you are going through change, transition, whatever you are doing, that is influencing the culture of the organization or the people, or at your home, wherever you are, whatever the situation of the change transition is. It is going to help the culture in the long run. It will maybe dictate how we do things, how we communicate our anger, how we communicate our frustration, or so many things. But again, let me say that very easy for me to say all of these things, but you really know how to manage the transition when you go into some situation like this. So in your regular private life also, like, you feel some changes happening and so on, don't get frustrated too much. Try to handle them, try to see what you can best from them, from those situations, and try to manage those changes. Don't just, the general tendency of all of us, including myself. I'm not trying to lecture anyone. I'm just speaking out loud to loud, and this talk is as much as for me as it is for you. Maybe I'm just speaking to myself. So what I'm trying to say is that, uh, when this type of when you see different type of changes in your life, generally speaking, our tendency is that, we don't want to go through that change. We want to do the things the way we have been doing it. Maybe don't do that. Maybe try to embrace that change and try to see how it feels to change in your own domain, in your private personal life. And then, over a period of time, if you continue embracing change in smaller things, only then you will be able to be ready for bigger changes happily in work environment. Yes, you will have to. Why I said happily is because you will have to do what your bosses are saying, and you would have to change and accommodate them. Yes, but the idea is to go through the change transition happily. Otherwise, if you are not happy and you are going through change or whatever the company or organization or your colleagues are asking you to do, you might change, but you will be frustrated. The work will feel very heavy. You won't enjoy it, and it will show. And eventually, it is going to harm the culture, or also it can also impact the mindset of the people who maybe were in the early days, who maybe were willing to accept change. So these type of things maybe you want to think about. Yes, thanks.